looked the part too. But according to a lot of the reviews, just a bunch of yahoos showed up and just made a big fucking mess and tore up shit, and now they got problems with the roof.
Yeah.
That's what I do not want.
Yeah.
Because the roofing company won't honor warranty. Now it's up to them to fix
Right.
my leaks.
Right.
Unless I want to hire my own.
And they already messed it up, so.
Yeah. So I will end up, if it happens like some of them say, I will end up with a fucked up roof.
Yeah.
I spent 22 grand
Yeah.
on it. It'll last us forever almost. You know, if we don't fuck it up like they're gonna do. That's why I keep telling them, I want a ground mount.
Yeah.
Don't get on my roof. I want a ground mount. You put a structure in the ground, mount them to that.
Yeah.
Or maybe possibly I could build that structure.
And then just have them install the.
Give me the specifications. I'll fucking build something out of metal. You know,
Right.
I got a fucking bunch of metal there.
What's up? What's up?
Get it started.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna go in here real quick. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Kshotem. I need to brush my stash. I haven't brushed it yet. Yeah, I ain't brushed my stash today. I just showered up, powered up. You know, we're keeping it simple today, you know what I mean? Just some shorts. You know what I mean? Got some shorts on today. Yeah, I'm about to put some oil in this bit. Yeah, we about to put some oil in that thing. I gotta get a Q-tip though. Yeah, we about to put some oil in the stash. You know what I mean? I haven't put oil in a couple of days because I just been putting wax. But we about to put some oil in that thing. Oil that thing down. About to oil that thing down. Oh shit. You already know, player. Player. So yeah, here we got the oil. Beard oil, you know, we gonna apply that. Yes, sir. Crack the bottle. Yeah, I haven't actually used this one yet. Because I had my other one, you know, so I kept on using my other one. But now it's time to use the new and improved, you know what I mean? We about to just dip it, you know. Ooh, oh shit, this is like a natural gentleman. I don't know if this is organic. The other one I have is like organic and shit. I'm not gonna put a lot because I really don't need too much, you know what I mean? But a little bit will do. Yeah, we don't need a whole lot. Don't nobody need a lot, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like the organic ones because, you know, it's just nice to know. Yeah, mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta fucking, gotta brush his hell. You know, just another day in the life with Kshotem. How y'all doing today, man? Hope everybody feeling good, feeling great. Keeping the hate out your space. And you just here to have a good day. Yeah, when you already have a stash like mine, you really don't have to put too much of like the products in there, you know what I mean? In the sense of like oils and shit, you know what I mean? You really don't need to. Especially from the wax, because what I noticed, the wax, it likes to stain the beard or mustache for a couple of days, really. Like, after I shower, I noticed that it's still, like, in my mustache, you know what I mean? So, you know, you could apply the oil after that, you know, a day or two later, you know what I mean? You put some oil up in that bitch, you know, and, you know, it'll still be, like, styled, you feel me? Yeah, I hit the scissors the other day, too. Get some of those little hairs. You know, but that's how we rockin'. Yes, sir. I need to get me a fedora hat again, you know what I mean? Give me another fedora hat. I used to have one whenever I was younger and shit like that. Before I had the stash and shit. Had a nice fedora hat and shit. Look at that motherfucker. That shit busting. Ah ha ha. Yo, what's up? How you doing, Fully? It's your boy Kshotem, man. The one and only. How y'all doing, man? You know, I'm just cooling. I want to tell a little story, you know what I mean? But I wanted to get at least like some people in here before I tell it. You know, I wanted to tell a story about whenever I first got my first camera, you know what I mean? Like my first official camera. Which I could show you the camera too. Yeah, I could show you the camera too. Yeah, I got the camera still, you know what I mean? I just want to get some people in here before I tell the story. You know what I mean? Yeah, I still got the camera and everything. You see? Here's the camera right here. This was the first camera that I ever started with, you know what I mean? This camera right here was the camera that I got whenever I was 16 or 17. Yeah, I got this camera whenever I was like a teenager right here, you know what I mean? And back then, this shit was like high advanced then, you know what I mean? Because like people didn't really have the SLRs yet where you could like put your own lens and shit. Like that was like for sure some like newer shit back then, you know what I mean? So, you know, but hold on, let me tell the story. So, you know, whenever I started, hold on, let me get my Red Bull. I'm gonna bring out some things. I'm gonna bring out some camera stuff that we've gotten over the time. You know what I mean? Just a couple little things. But yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all a story whenever I started doing this shit. But hold on. First, I just need to grab. Okay, here we go. Oh, damn. Cool. Alright, so you got your face showing. That's weird. Yep. We in the 1865s. We're gonna put you on timeout real quick, you know what I mean? So, like I was saying, you know what I mean? We're gonna put the weirdos on timeout. So yeah, man, like I was saying, right? You know, I started doing photos as a teenager, you know, a youngster, you know, so I was like, you know, 14, 15, and I was using a PowerShot camera. You know, I used to use a PowerShot camera. So back in the day, that's what we used to use. You know, PowerShot cameras. You know what I mean? And you know, it was like a little ass camera. You know, where you put the SD card in it, but it was like not even a big lens or anything. So I used that, right? I started doing my thing on MySpace, you know, really started like building my portfolio as a teenager, you know what I mean? And I did a lot of work in the city as a kid, you know what I mean? I did a lot of work in the city with the PowerShot camera before I got this camera right here, right? So I did a lot of stuff, you know, and I was actually the first person at my high school, the only person at my high school that was like a photographer doing his own thing with the camera, right? And everybody was hitting me up for a MySpace picture, you know, oh, let me get a MySpace picture, you know what I mean? So from that, I got all types of people that wanted to work with me, you know what I mean? Artists, regular people that just wanted a fly picture, right? So that was like 14, 15, right? So by the time I was about 17, 16, 17, me and my dad, we went to the store and bought this camera right here, right? I was about 16, 17, went and bought this camera, right? And back then, this was like some high advanced shit, you know what I mean? Like back then, like we just had PowerShot cameras, you know? So these cameras is the ones that started like where people could shoot their own music videos on their own. Because before this camera, you had to go to like a big record label to get a music video done. Like you couldn't just like shoot it yourself, you know what I mean? So these type of cameras started that around 2009 or 10. So I did a lot of work with this camera too, you know what I mean? I just continued on what I was doing, right? This is the camera that I shot YG's pictures with. I got my work in the magazine, you know what I mean? Magazines, you know, this camera. And I was not even 18 years old yet, you know what I mean? I was not even 18 years old yet whenever I did all that on this camera, you know what I mean? And, you know, around what? 2010, I would want to say. This part right here, the SD card slot holder, it got messed up. So I couldn't like use the camera no more, you know what I mean? So that kind of put a stop in what I was doing, you know? And that was right after I did this shit with YG and you know, shit. So basically, you know, I had to stop doing the camera shit, you know what I mean? So that's where I stopped doing it, right? And I started to just do regular people shit, like go to work, build as a man, you know what I mean? A young man, you know what I mean? Building my name in like the workforce and, you know, doing regular people shit. Just learning life, right? You know? Whatever, right? So around what? 2018, 2019, that's whenever I came around to this camera, right? So 2018, 2019, I'll tell you this story now. So I was hanging out with my homie at his house, right? And I wasn't thinking about doing no camera stuff. I wasn't like, oh, I want to get back into, you know, doing this. Like, I wasn't thinking about none of that. So I was actually going through some shit in a relationship, you know what I mean? And I was at my homies just trying to like clear my head, like sitting there on the porch type shit. You know, we were just kicking it. And my homie's neighbor came through with the camera, right? A new camera. And he was playing with it. And I was like, I looked at him and I was like, man, that shit reminds me of me whenever I was a kid, you know what I mean? Like, it just put in my head, like, camera. And then I was like, wait a minute. So then I asked him, I was like, hey, bro, like, do you have your old camera still? He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, how much? You know, I'll buy that shit. And I bought the camera, and that's what really started this new journey. But get this right, that same day I seen him, and I seen him with the camera and shit. And I was like, hey, bro, you got that camera? What do you know? As I'm leaving, my ex is coming in my homie's street. Mind you, she don't know where the fuck this fool live. I don't even know how the fuck she found out, honestly. But she fucking came and I seen her and I dodged around her, right? But it was all a sign, right? This came and this came too. But it was all a choice, right? Hey, am I gonna go with this chick or am I gonna chase my motherfucking dream that I been created a long time ago? So that's whenever I was like, man, I need to weave away from any energy, any person that ain't for me, you know? And I started doing this shit. So, bam, got this camera, right? Started going crazy. 2018, 2019. That's whenever I started getting a lot of tattoos too. But I started getting tattoos before I started doing this. You know what I mean? I was just getting tattoos, just like enjoying tattoos, right? Because I was going through a lot with life. You know, like girls, regular life shit. You know what I mean? You go through a lot, right? You want to go get a tattoo. Fuck it, why not, right? So it just kind of like, it all came around the same time back into my life. You know, so this artistry is meant for me. So since 2019, that's when you've seen everything I've been doing now. You know what I mean? Yup. I shook that. But ever since 2019, we've been doing a lot, right? And even with this camera right here, right? We started with a basic ass lens. You know, this lens right here was $1,000. You know what I mean? Like just for this fucking lens. You know what I mean? So this lens is a 24 millimeter Sigma lens. You know what I mean? It's a nice lens. You know what I mean? So it's definitely not basic, right? And now we got the fisheye lens. Shouts out to Nisha, you know what I mean? She's the one that helped invest into this one right here, you know what I mean? The fisheye, you know what I mean? I haven't really used this one yet, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's a fisheye right there. And, we've made a lot of accomplishments too, you know? Like, I started out with a shitty laptop, you know what I mean? I started off on a shitty ass laptop, you know what I mean? And I never gave up, you know what I mean? I always invested. I always worked hard, you know what I mean? I just knew that nothing was going to come easy for me in life, you know what I mean? So I always knew, like, you got to go hard. It don't matter the situation, the circumstance, you know what I mean? You got to go hard. You got to stand 10 toes in everything you do, you know? And I don't say that just because, like, I'm saying it. I say it because I live like that, you know what I mean? Real spill, holy feel. Like, I don't play about shit, bye. But ever since 2019, though, we made so many accomplishments, man. Like, in 2024 alone, I only gained 400 subscribers on YouTube, right? But in 2025, motherfucker gained no. In 2023, I didn't gain shit. In 2024 is whenever I gained, like, a whole bunch. And this year, we're still gaining a lot. This year is going crazy, too. I mean, this is the only camera. This is the only camera that I use. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. I mean, you can never, give up in what you do. You know what I mean? The camera forever. You know what I mean? On me, camera forever. Hey, man. I don't really go on live too much anymore. You know what I mean? I'm just starting to. You know what I mean? But we gonna start going live again. Everybody knows, my live started going up last year. You know what I mean? We just don't go live too much now. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna start going live and bringing people on as guests. Yep. Oh yeah, man. And we got a lot of tats. You know what I mean? Throughout the time. A lot of jewelry over the time. Just like accomplishments. Like every time I did something with this shit, I did something as an accomplishment, you know what I mean? I got it on me. I put it on, put it on my fingers or some shit, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, a way of living, you know what I mean? To be thriving for things, you know what I mean? Because that's the only way you're going to see something out of life, you know what I mean? Is by applying that pressure every day in whatever it is that you want to do. But if you don't apply that pressure every single day, then, you ain't never gonna get what you looking for, you know what I mean? Yo, what up? I appreciate you. And you know, the stash too, you know, we recently accomplished the stash, you know, cause it is an accomplishment when you set your mind to something and you make it happen, especially in a limited amount of time. Like you didn't have no time to do it, but you knew exactly how to do it. Mind you, never grew a stash in my life. Never. And I watched like one video and I'm like, bro, I already know all this shit. So it's like, it wasn't like, you know, the video like, oh, wow. Nah, like I already understood like how to get what I wanted without even knowing how to do it. I just understood if I brush the hairs this way, you know, I mean, it's just common sense, right? So, yeah, like, you know, but see, that's an accomplishment because when you look at other people, right, and they don't have it, it's because they don't have my mind. They're not thinking like me, you know what I mean? They don't know how to do it, you know what I mean? And it's not like I'm saying I'm better. It's just like, you know, everything takes an art to do in life, you know what I mean? And that's why when you see people a certain way, you're like, oh shit, that's because they took the time, you know what I mean? But if I just let it grow naturally, like however, fuck it, why not? It wouldn't look this good, I promise you. You know what I mean? Someone unliked me for it. Oh yeah? Shit. Shit, you know me. I grew that. Yeah, man, we got that. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, you're supposed to get better with what you do and in general, you know, if you're working on something, you know what I mean? It's just how it works, right? It's just like somebody that either works out, plays a sport, whatever, right? Anything you do on a routine base and you do it enough, you're gonna see good things coming from it, you know what I mean? And that's why they say hard work always pays off. And that's like say me doing this video stuff, this photo stuff, this promoting stuff. It could be you going to a job every single day and you never taking a day off, you know, shit like that, you know what I mean? It's just gonna build you as a person. No days off, babe. You ever like wake up and you didn't want to go to work or some shit, but then you went every single day that week you didn't want to go and you went and the next week you actually wanted to go. You know what I mean? The next week, like you're like, man, I'm kind of ready for Monday. You see, you know what they say? They say that you gotta enjoy your Mondays as much as your Fridays because your Mondays is the start of your work week, right? So if you start it like you don't want to be there, then it's gonna be a rough week, right? But if you start it almost like a Friday, like yeah, we here, woo, Monday, woo, you know, you might have a better week. You know what I mean? It might flow a little better. You know what I mean? So you know, you gotta appreciate, you know, the finish and the end of the weeks. You know what I mean? And that's how you make it easier for you. Because every single day of the week, if you're in the work area, right? Corporate shit and all that, it's a flow, you know what I mean? Because you got to deal with certain shit, right? And that's how you know how shit's on kind of like a magnifying glass almost, you know what I mean? When a Monday actually feels different than a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? So that's how you know you're under like a fucking, you know what I mean? I don't want to say too much. But that's why I love the things that I do, you know what I mean? Because my soul is freely into what I'm doing, you know what I mean?
God bless Pope Francis.
Oh,
He died last night.
Oh, yeah.
He died.
Oh, I think I seen something whenever I woke up about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pope, you know, I guess he died. RIP to Pope, you know what I mean? Even though I heard a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, oh boy was wilding, but, you know, RIP. You know what I mean? I seen some crazy stuff on the internet, how they were saying how, like, if you look in some book or whatever, he's like the last whatever, guy for the book. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So what happens after that? You know what I mean? I don't know, but yeah, that's what I was saying too. Like I thought what I heard about Pope was he was actually on some more like satanic shit, you know what I mean? Like yeah, he was like supposedly like gospel, right? But I heard a lot of, because I never did the research on Pope like that. Like coming up, I wasn't like a Pope fan or no shit like that, so that's why I don't know as much. But the stuff that's been out there though, you know what I mean? I've recently too, in the past like couple weeks, I seen videos on him too, where people were breaking down this, breaking down that, like knowledgeable people, and that's whenever I learned a little bit about him too, and it's like I don't understand when people are into like the churches and all that, and the gospel and all these things, and say they live that life, you know what I mean? Like they're super into the life, right? But then they have these ways, like it just doesn't really make no freaking sense. Because I'm assuming if I get more into my spiritual side and that type of gospel side, it's gonna make me just totally like, even smoking a little tree for I ain't gonna do that. That shit'll make you. Oh shit.
You like pickles?
No, not really.
Dill chips, man.
No, yeah, he helped a lot of people for sure. You know what I mean? But see, that's the thing though. Like I don't know too much about that, so I don't like to speak where I don't have as much know about, because I never sat there and did research on Pope like that, you know what I mean? But of course he, the name and everything is like a big name, right? Like everybody knows, they heard the name. But a lot of people, I feel like they heard about him, but they don't know about him, you know what I mean? Yeah, let him rest up, I mean, he just died today, we can't, we ain't over here slandering his name like that, you know what I mean? R.I.P. to the dude, you know what I mean? But if, he motherfucker lived, to be, what, 100 something? Motherfucker was old, you know what I mean? Yeah, he was an old guy, you know what I mean? Yeah, the boy was old as mine. Yeah, the stash is on. Fleekers. Yeah, you just gotta... The first setup? What you mean? I mean, the first setup, you know what I mean? Boy, that's just weird to say, dog. Like, why would you come in my chat and say some weird shit? Disrespect your own manhood, fool. Like, that's just weird, fool. To come here and disrespect your own fucking manhood. Now, my feet busted, fool. I got a busted toe, fool. Yeah, my shit busted, fool. I got fungus on my shit. Yeah, I got fungus on my shit. Hey, I appreciate you. Probably my stomach. Oh, either, I don't know, bro. Yeah, like that's crazy work, dog. Like to come in here and just disrespect your own manhood like that. Like I don't know, bro. People build different. People build different these days. But my longest tattoo, bro, probably my stomach, honestly. Like, but the thing about some of these tattoos, these motherfuckers got like weird. You know what I mean? Yeah, these motherfuckers got weird with the tats. Like, they wanted to start doing it in sessions. And that shit just like is boof. You know what I mean? Because in sessions, it just takes more time. It honestly takes more money too. So I've always been the type of person where I got a tat and I finished the whole shit right then and there, you know? But I feel like these guys started to look at certain places I was getting tatted, like my chest or my stomach, and they realized they could make more money when they could have me come back a couple times, you know what I mean? So that's where, you know what I mean, a motherfucker stopped going to those people as much because I'm like, man, I ain't trying to get ripped off, fool, when I could just finish it right here. But you can't go to other people for other people's tats, you know, they won't do it. So you gotta figure it out. That's why it's important when you get a tattoo, you know what you're gonna do with that shit, you know what I mean? Cause if not, it's all bad for you. They went to do nah, no. Now this is just faded. We got these at 2 different times, you know what I mean? It's just this one just faded a little bit, you know what I mean? But nah, I mean that's what I was telling old boy too, you know what I mean? I mean, they're both fucking no, I mean it's just that's how they're supposed to be, you know what I mean? Y'all ever notice that what this one says right here? Hold on. Yeah, that shit crazy. I just noticed too. I got this shit and then I got the stars right under it. Yo, that's crazy work, man. Now I just realized why, man. I realize how it looks to me now, you know what I mean? It's like, this is like the dark, right? This is like the struggle right here, but then this is like the light right here, you know what I mean? Oh, I appreciate you, yup. You know I had to get that one, you know what I mean? Me personally, like I just understood like how to do the tattoos whenever I start to do them, you know what I mean? I just understood like placement. Cause it's all about placement, you know what I mean? If you don't have the right placement, it won't look good, you know? So you have to have things placed right, you know, like this one, this one, this one. I still need to get some shit right here. I just, you know, this artist I stopped going to. So that's why this one, you know, you don't see any more work. Yup. We got, you know, we got a couple names on us. You know what I mean? We got all this shit is names. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, I went and got Nisha's name because she went and got my tattoos, you know what I mean? She got like 4 or 5, about probably like 4 tattoos that I got to do with Kshotem, you know, the name. She got my star. I think she has this one too. Which other one? Oh, she got that. Oh yeah, she put an owl on her neck. Ooh. She put this owl on her neck. How I have this, but it's like on hers it's like an owl right here. That shit hard. Yeah, she put an owl on her neck. So, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, when somebody doing these type of things, you know, pretty much representing you to the fullest, you know, you want to do something to show that you represent them too, right? Like, I mean, shit, why not? Like, you know, she's also invested into like, you know, a lot of things for the brand too, you know what I mean? Like tablet, lens, you know, I mean, other stuff too, like, you know, donated money and stuff like that, you know, so, you know what I mean? I'm just somebody that if I notice things, right, I like to show the same love back in some way, you know what I mean? Because when actions and hard work, it never goes unnoticed, you know what I mean? So when people are doing these things, the average person is not going to do that. So I like to show them that, you know, they're valued in some way, you know what I mean, if they didn't feel like it, you know. And that's why I do what I do, though, you know what I mean, because I just support what supports me, right? Like, you fuck with Kshotem, I'll fuck with you even harder. You know what I mean? So that's how it go, right? But that's in a general standpoint, you know what I mean? But like I said, when people going over there and investing and getting tattoos and all those things, you know what I mean? It's all love, you know. You know, obviously not every person's gonna get the same type of treatment, right? Like shit. But I think it's because Nisha came to my channel early on, and she was probably one of the first ones that started donating and putting money towards my channel, you know what I mean? And really like knew right away, like, you know, this dude is something special, right? And this was at a time where it was just nothing but haters around this mug. You know, and I wasn't even showing no positivity because everybody was hating, so I was just like grilling everybody, making fun of everybody. You know what I mean? So it was a different time. But you know, there was people out there that seen the true Kshotem in the matter, you know what I mean? And she was definitely one of those ones that seen Kshotem and was like, oh shit, like, you know, instantly just fell in love with the kid, you know what I mean? But it's because, you know what I mean, when people can see how much hate you're dealing with and you ain't really, you know, you don't really care about it. uh People gonna like you for that, you know what I mean? They're gonna like you for how much you don't care about the majority of everything else around that's hating, you know what I mean? Of course, if it's showing love, it's all love, you know what I mean? We all here. Oh, you know, what would you say? But you love me too, so I mean, you know, I got love, you know what I mean? You know, I got love for a lot of things, you know what I mean? For sure. You know, and I'm going to show that through other people's actions, you know what I mean? And that's just a general standpoint, you know? I don't really look at anything specifically. I look at everything like, you know what? If people are doing certain things, then that's what I look at them upon, you know what I mean? I don't really. That's why when people don't show nothing, like I don't really like think about it in no way. You know, sometimes people just be saying a lot of stuff and I just be like, all right, cool. Because I never seen it, you know what I mean? But when people actually show things, that's whenever I really like, I know things for sure, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And, you know, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt at first, you know? I show love, you know? I give everybody the benefit of the doubt in the sense of I'm cool with everybody at first, you know what I mean? But a lot of people, they want to say this, say that, say that. Then that's whenever I'm like, all right, cool. Gotta put them down. Gotta put them down. But you know, we put people down with the factuals. You know what I mean? Like we just speak what's real. And I done converted so many haters. I don't even know how many, honestly. Like, yeah, I can't even tell you how many haters I done converted. You know what I mean? But for sure, I done had people come in here hating, and then like a day later or hours later, hey, bro, you cool? You know, my bad. Yeah, you actually did it. You know, I done had that like I don't know how many times. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, we done converted so many haters. Oh yeah, I mean, people are just haters at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's just what comes from the people. You know what I mean? That's just life, you know what I mean? You're going to have haters because, you know, there's very few congratulators, right? Now, think about this, right? You know how there's more haters than congratulators? Because how many times when something good happens and you tell somebody they actually care, right? Hell, you could even tell something to somebody good, like something good, right, to somebody, and they gonna figure out a way to make it bad, right? But the bad shit, oh, I knew that. Oh, I told you this. Like, they just instantly, like, you know what I mean, going towards that. You know what I mean? Like, there's not as many congratulators, like when you do something and somebody's like, wow, man, like, fuck, you really did that, bro. Like, good job, man. Like, you don't really have that too much anymore. But the minute there's a crack in any cement, they're diving right into the crack, you know what I mean? But the chance they have to give you a hug and be like, bro, like, you did that shit, bro, they don't do it. The only chance they'll ever have, they won't do it, right? But the minute there's a fucking crack in the ground, they're like, hey, let's dive through that motherfucker, man. There's finally a crack in the ground, fool. Like, we could flame that shit up. You see what I'm saying? So, and see, I noticed because I do this shit online, right? So I see how the people kind of like are and react to things, you know what I mean? So, you know, I get to see like the majority of how shit normally goes, you know? Because there's so many people that come in and off my page and shit like that. Especially people that I dealt with, you know, like personal relationships and how they do it, you know what I mean? It's sad, you know what I mean? A lot of these boys be sad out here. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, a lot of these boys be sad out here, sad down bad, you hear me, on me. A lot of these boys be sad down bad, you know what I mean, on me, Joe. Yeah, but it's all good. We out here. That's why I got tattoos. Oh yeah, you already know. I keep it real spell. You feel me? You know we're gonna screenshot that. Ah. Here, let's end the live, or not the live, the video. I was recording a little video, you know, telling my little story and shit. I'm gonna put that on my Instagrammer. You feel me? Haha, yes sir. Baby, grind with me. Your time with me. Relax your body. Grind with me. Just put on. Oh, you already know. Everybody gonna know. You know what I mean? You know, Shane. Hey, man, I hope everybody having a good day, though. You know what I mean? Keeping the hate out your space, out your way. You know what I mean? Any negative energy, I hope it gets replaced today. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Stay fly with the Red Bull. They say they want you to teach, but yeah, I mean, shit. I done a lot of teaching out here. You know what I mean? I done a lot of motherfucking teaching around this motherfucker before, you feel me, on me. Yeah, we done some teaching around this motherfucker before, you know what I mean? Oh, you already know, man. People, you know, the worst thing about people sometimes is like, instead of asking a question, they just say dumb stuff, you know what I mean? Like, instead of asking like a legit question, it's like, oh, like, bro, it just shows how serious your life be. You know, you can't have, like, you can't take everything so serious, but your conversation has to be at least somewhat serious, my boy. You know, you can't just be like that non-serious about life in a general, you know what I mean? Like, it's cool to like be funny and shit, you know, but damn, like we don't even know who you are. And you saying like random stuff the first thing you say, so it goes to show you like you might just be a clown ass motherfucker. You know, you just might be a clown. Just in general, you know what I mean? Like me personally, I start conversations a little differently, and they maybe crack a joke. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna walk down the street, see somebody walking down the street, and just crack a random weird joke to them. Who? How you feel about this, young? Who you talking about? You talking about like Tommy and them? You talking about like Tommy and them? How do I feel about them? I don't feel no way. You know, they doing their thing. You know, I like the music. You know, I like the music. You know, I like all their music. You feel me? I like all their music. Of course, I'm gonna say the real shit. You know what I mean? Like say like whenever I seen Tommy go get my star tat. You know what I mean? Like when he went and got my star tat. You know what I mean? I had to let him know. Like, come on, bro. Like how you going and getting my tattoo? First off, you know what I mean, that's weird because I'm the only one that had it like that. You know, like didn't nobody have a black star tat, especially 2 or 1 or whatever, right? And you know what it is the average artist, you know, they don't ever want to invest or anything like that, you know. So we had a conversation about a year ago. You know, they was trying to get an interview, him and his manager, you know what I mean? And I just told him, I was like, you know what I mean? I was just telling him to send a deposit. Motherfucker didn't even want to send a deposit, so I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. Like, I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, who cares, you feel me? Like, but he was trying to bring Tommy, you know what I mean? Yeah, he was trying to bring Tommy on, you know what I mean? And it's all love, you feel me? I actually don't have nothing against the kid other than getting my tattoo. And I personally, like, think that if he took more time to actually write his music, his shit would be, you know what I mean? His shit would be hard, you know? His shit would be way harder, you know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of these guys, they don't know how to actually, like, put bars together. Cause like shit, that shit sounding like, I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? But I make a lot of those videos for educational purposes too, where they could kind of like sit back and be like, damn, like I want to go harder. Yeah, nah, he trash. Nah, he trash as fuck. Yeah, that boy trash as a motherfucker. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, Tommy, yeah, that boy trash, boy. Like, trash. But that's why I make those videos so then people be like, oh shit, like I better go work on my bars, you know what I mean? Yeah, I do that so they be like, damn, like I better go work on my bars. Because if I write some shit, how's it gonna sound better than the artist that raps every day, you know what I mean? Like me, I just do it whenever I want to, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna make it dope. But it's like I don't rap, I'm not a rapper. Yeah, you know, yeah, they reported my post whenever I put up my rapping post. Yeah, they reported that shit. I was like, damn, bro, was that wrong? But it's because I say real shit. You know what I mean? My bars are different than other people's. You know what I mean? Yeah, my bars is like, you know, they hit different, Joe. You know what I mean? So I could put any artist under the damn ocean flow. Yeah, nigga. I come from hip hop. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Yeah, he said I'm riding around killing him like a train track or some shit. I don't know what the fuck he said, bro. But yeah, nah, I don't even that one video he put out. You know, it really didn't even make sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, I ain't no rapper. See, I always like to say I'm not a rapper. I just know how to rap. But what it is I'm more of an MC because I come from like real music. So like, there's different ways that I know how to get on a beat, you know what I mean? Depending on the beat, you know what I mean? I'll just vibe out. But a lot of people, you know what I mean? They gotta overly try to do some shit. He's like, when he gives him a new LA. Yeah, I just spit real life, you know what I mean? They just say random shit. But see, that's the difference between somebody that is telling his story and then a motherfucker that's living his story right now. Like, he's barely living through the shit he can rap about later, you know what I mean? I'm already later on, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'll peep him out, you know, Jay Slide. Yeah, man, I could peep him out and all that. Yeah, man, you know how it go. You already know how it go, player. Yeah, I could peep him out and all that. But yeah, man, you know, I really don't got nothing against nobody, you know what I mean? It's just I put in a lot of work to the shit I do, you know what I mean? So I honestly don't feel like anybody's worked and put out the type of work I have, you know what I mean? Like, if you consider like numbers and how much work I have out, nah, like, yeah, motherfucker knee got busted. You know what I mean? Motherfucker all disabled up. Feel me? We still out here. Feel me? We still knock a boy. You feel me? We'll still knock a boy, you feel me? We ain't playing about none of that. Yeah, man, I ain't playing about none of that, boy. I'll over here fucking straight pirate a boy, you feel me? Oh, I need to see about a little roasty toasty. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see about a little roasty right quick. We don't really got shit right here, though. Yeah, we ain't really got nothing right. We ain't got no Trafer. Just by being Kshotem, man. Like, just, Kshotem. But honestly, there was a lot of hate going on around my name at the time. So around that time, I had a lot of content. So when they were hating on my name, right, I was just putting out content, right? The whole time they was putting my name out there hating, I was putting content out there, dropping hood vlogs and all type shit, right? So basically, like, that grew my channel, and then I basically started going on YouTube live, and that shit boosted my shit a lot too. Yeah, this live shit boosted my channel by thousands, I probably gained, like, I don't even know how many, like, well, in 2024, I gained 10,000 subscribers on here, you know what I mean? So in 2024, I gained a lot on here, like 10,000 subscribers on the bit. You know what I mean? You just gotta keep posting, you know what I mean? You just gotta... It's not just on YouTube, though, You gotta have other platforms that you're working on. It's a real, like, building process, right? You're not just gonna come over here, do a little thing, come over here, do a little thing. You gotta do a lot over here, a lot over here, a lot over here. You digging what I'm talking about? You gotta work, you know what I mean? And a lot of people think, like, you just do a little here, a little there, and you're gonna get somewhere. It's not how it works. You gotta put in the work. And real growth is when you don't see it right away. You see it later on. So everybody that thinks I'm gonna do this and this is gonna happen, you fucking failed. Okay? Because this is not gonna happen over this half of the time. You're gonna have to do a lot more other things, but you have to have that understanding. If you don't, you'll flop. You won't go too far in that shit. Yup. Did a video with a lot of people, you know what I mean? Yeah, we did a couple videos out there, you know what I mean? Yeah, we know a couple people. Shouts out to everybody out there, you know what I mean? All the busters and haters, you feel me? Shouts out to them too. What do you say? Then charge. Pickle bread? Shit. They just fucking gave us some pickle bread, you know what I mean? Nah, not really, but the outline, that shit was stinging, boy. I ain't gonna hold you. Hey, I had some weight too, and this shit was like vibrating my chest a lot, you know what I mean? That shit was... That shit was different level, boy. Yeah, the chest stung a little bit, for sure. Yeah, the chest piece stung a little bit, you could say. Hell yeah, that shit stung, boy. It's because it vibrates, you know what I mean? And I had more weight at the time, so the chi-chis, they were... And it was hurting. The outline, too, that shit hurt, too, boy. The shading, ooh, that shit stung, boy. All around the titties, boy, that shit sting, boy. Y'all, all around the titty, boy, that shit hurt. I appreciate you. Yeah, around the titties, boy, that shit be hurting, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. But you know that shit look good, though. Oh, yeah. Them titties, boy. You feel me? Them titties. Hey, them titties. Hey, you gotta hit the titties, though. You feel me? Without this, it doesn't work, you know what I mean? Without this whole little effect it got going here, you know what I mean? So you got to do that, you know. Without doing this part, it was not gonna look good. She said I couldn't get that. Oh yeah, the chest, it's a different type of hit. Yeah, the chest piece will have you messed up. Yeah, the chichis. The chichis. I gotta put my camera stuff back. Pew, 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 pew. He said I have 34 tattoos. Hell yeah, I don't even know how many I have, honestly. I can't even tell you. I goddamn, you know, never really kept track to begin with. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of want to draw some shit today. I actually have to. I've been needing to draw a logo for my boy. I've been slacking on that, but you know what? I kind of want to. I really want to draw like a No, I'm gonna go over here. I'm just grabbing this. I kind of want to draw like a Jesus piece or something, like some like spiritual shit, some gospel shit. You know what I mean? Like some crazy shit. Maybe I could put on that's my next logo, because I really like the Jesus picture I have on my Instagram page. That shit's hard. And you know, I was looking at that shit yesterday. I was looking at that bitch yesterday. I was like, man, that shit kind of look like me. Cause he's holding like 2 fingers and everything. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I never noticed that shit. I never noticed that he be throwing 2 fingers up. That's just like crazy to me. Cause that's what I do, you know what I mean? But I just seen it yesterday. I was like, wait a minute, like, hold on. Oh shit. Yeah, that shit was wild. Let me go there real quick so I could show y'all that shit. That's just crazy, you know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of want to draw some shit. I haven't drawn nothing, and you know, I need to get on that. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna get Jesus on my back. You know, I already said that, because you know how I have this right here. I want to get in the back, the opposite. You know what I mean? Jesus in the back. I want to kind of do my back piece. I'll probably do some like gospel shit. You know what I mean? Like some doves, cause it makes sense too. Cause on my neck right here, I have my cousin's name, R.I.P. Nick. So I want to do my back all like religious, not religious stuff, but like, you know, gospel shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Jesus, the cross. I really want to get this shit on my back, honestly. Like, I'll show you right now. I'm just scrolling right quick. You see that piece right there? That shit's hard. You see how he's throwing the 2 fingers? Like, bruh, he throwing the 2 fingers. Like, what? That's crazy. Look, and then I'm right here. Look, 2 fingers. That's crazy, huh? The fuck? Ain't that wild? Boy throwing 2 fingers. We both throwing 2 fingers in this thing. Because we both, you know, here for peace. You feel me? We both here for that peace. You feel me? You see that there? Oh, yeah, I want to get that on my back. You know, I already told my guy that too. Yeah, I had already told my guy, like, I'm trying to get that back piece. You feel me? Yeah, that shit'll be a nice little back piece. Can't even lie to you. Oh, shit. Give me a second, guys. Just right here. Yo, oh shit. What's going on, everybody? I need to bring up a Jesus picture. Um, Give me a second. I'm drawing. Oh man, oh yeah, that's hard. No, yeah. I mean, when it comes to a back piece, you have to do the whole shit. You know what I mean? You couldn't just barely do a little something like, yeah. When it comes to the back piece, you have to hit the whole fucking back. You know, just like the stomach. You know, you have to hit the whole stomach right here. You have to hit the whole shit. It's just an area. You know what I mean? If you don't, it's not gonna look as good when people are looking at it. You know what I mean? Damn. I want to draw Jesus on the cross. That's a hard ass photo right there. Is that why, motherfucker? Is that why they throw some piece on? Yo, this would be a hard ass drawing to do. Yeah, no, you don't. You know, yeah, no male should be having no spine tattoo. You know what I mean? That's kind of. I don't know, bro. Cause spine tattoos is for females because, you know, the female would get the spine tattoo because it's perfectly positioned, right? And you know they wear shirts, you know, where it shows their back. Maybe I mean I could see how it could be like nice, you know, if a nigga like trying to check her out and he sees the dope ass spine tattoo. I get that, but like for a guy to have one, now you're wanting people to like center in on your waist almost, or like the center of your back, and instead of just like looking at a nice piece, like on your whole back, like oh shit, that's dope. Like they kind of centered in, like trying to see like what your waist almost like fucking is reading. You feel me? Like I don't know. Some tattoos as males, they should probably not be getting. You know what I mean? Like like a foot tattoo. You know what I mean? Like man, like don't go get a foot tattoo if it's not the only place you need to hit on your goddamn leg. You know what I mean? Don't start your goddamn leg piece on your goddamn foot. Don't go get a nice foot tattoo, you know what I mean? Think you're gonna show the pals and they're gonna say, oh, that's a nice foot tattoo, bro. They gonna say, what the fuck, this fool weird. He went and got a foot tattoo? Like out of all places, my boy, like you could have fucking, got a shoulder tat, homie. You could have got the back of your leg hit. Yeah, I mean that you gotta, yeah, like that you have to do at the very end. Like that's the last tat. But you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. The legit way to do your back is you kind of have to, you have to, get an ass piece too. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to think, right? Cause like if it just cuts off on your back, then if you get your legs, like what? Your ass is gonna be, you're gonna look like a baboon, you feel me? Motherfucker gonna look like a whole baboon in this motherfucker, you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where like the last place you might have to, you know what I mean? I mean if you want your whole body hit and for it to look right, oh you already know, you know what I mean? I hit that too, you know what I mean? But yeah, even as a male, you're gonna have to go and get that at some point in time. But it has to be the very last fucking thing you do. Like you can't go over here and like, oh, I'm gonna go get my cheeks hit, bro. And it's like, you don't gotta do that yet, bro. Like, what you doing that for, bro? Like, what you doing that for, bro? I'm asking questions now. I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck, like. But if a motherfucker fully tatted and you don't even know that that's the only place he has to hit, then hey, fuck it, go hit that shit. You know what I mean? Just go to a female and do it. You know what I mean? Don't go to some motherfucker that gonna be looking at your cheeks and like, oh shit, like you feel me? Low key, this for like, damn, like at least a female, she gonna just do the piece and get you out of there. You know what I mean? If you go get those kind of tattoos right away, you know what I mean? Then it's like bam, you know what I mean? But if you're trying to hit your whole fucking body, you know what I mean? And that's literally like the last place, you know what I mean? You might have to hit it if you want to be fully tatted, you know what I mean? But you can't just go and get it. Like say for me, right? You see how I don't have nothing on my back? If you see me next week, right? And I got a fucking tattoo right here, then you should be asking questions. Yeah, you need to be asking questions for sure. You need to be asking K-Shot, what's going on over there, brother, man? Because yeah, that's weird. But if I hit my whole back right and I just need this one little space, then hey, fuck it, go hit it. You know what I mean? Because it's the last space. You know, it's gonna connect it. But if you want to start your back piece down here, oh, bro, I'm gonna start my back piece, bro, and I'm gonna start my back piece, and you come through, you know what I mean? And you got some shit right here. Oh yeah, we got some issues, bro. Yeah, yeah, we got some motherfucking issues. You know what I mean? If you go, that's the first place you go get your goddamn tat. You know what I mean? But it's just like this, right? If I want my whole shit to be hit, I have to hit right here and right here. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? If I want to hit right here, I mean, it's just what you got to do, right? But if that's the first place you're going to do it at, the back, the foot, then it's all bad for you. You know what I mean? But say you're getting a leg piece, right? Say you got your leg hit, right? You kind of have to hit your foot too. You know what I mean? You kind of have to hit your foot too at some point. But don't go and hit your foot first and be like, oh, I'm going to go get this after. Hell no. Now you look weird as hell. Because now you're going to be walking around with a foot tattoo. And that's normally what girls do, you know what I mean? But later on, if you want a full leg piece, you kind of do have to hit the foot, you know what I mean? Yeah, you kind of have to hit the foot piece, you know what I mean? But that's what you have to do if you want to be fully tatted. You know what I mean? But it's just depending on what you do first. You know what I mean? Like I said, you don't go and get your lower back tatted first. You do that last. You know, as a man, you know what I mean? But if you want to be fully tatted, you got to do all those things, you know what I mean? Your body is a sculpture, you know what I mean? It's an art piece. The whole thing has to come together as one piece. But you can't go and do shit weird, you know what I mean? Like it's about how you place the tattoos in the beginning, you know what I mean? That's it. But yeah, you can't, like I said, go and get a foot tattoo, go get a lower back piece right away. The fuck? Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. But there's definitely certain ways to do tattoos, you know what I mean? And some people don't really get tattoos, you know? They get one or two and that's it, you know? Me, I'm gonna be fully tatted, you know? My whole entire body is gonna be tatted. So me, I understand like, certain shit, but I definitely want to go and get, certain tattoos first. Let me see something. Oh yeah, we got a couple, you know what I mean? We got a couple tats, you know what I mean? Yeah, I love tats, it's definitely a way of living, you know. Hold on, I need to grab this tablet. Yeah, tattoos for sure, just a way of life, you know what I mean? For shit show. Yeah, man, I mean yeah, tattoos, you know what I mean? That shit's just a way of life, you know. I think I need to charge this pencil. Man, I ain't used this tablet in a month or two, you know what I mean? It's been a while since I used this bitch. What do you say? I can't see one tattoo or two tattoos. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this shit need to charge. This shit dead as a bitch. Give me some time to look right here still. Yeah, this Jesus drawing is hard as fuck, I found. Oh shit, probably Amazon, you know what I mean? Probably good old Amazon, you know what I mean? Man, I don't got no Red Bull in this bit, man. Oh shit, this one's pretty hard too. Ooh, I kind of like this one on me. Ooh, this one's hard too. He throwing up 2 fingers, nigga. I need to find a better one like that, though. My bad, y'all. I'm just trying to look at this shit. This image is pretty hard, too. He don't look too good in this one, though. Oh, yeah, I could, but with this, I just want to draw something like, kind of like for a logo type shit, you know? Something that I could use to put my name on it, you know what I mean? This one's pretty hard right here. I like this one where he's throwing the 2 fingers, though. That one's pretty hard, too. Oh, shit. Damn. Motherfucking tired, y'all. Motherfucking tired as a bit, man. Trying to see what the fuck I should be doing right now. I want to draw, but I gotta charge this shit. I want to charge this shit up type shit. I need to draw the Homia logo, though, but I gotta find an image still for bro. Like that one's a hard one to do because I can't find anything that, you know what I mean, look like fool, you know what I mean. That's the hard thing right there. Kind of want to do this. Actually, I need to draw this one for bro first before I do that other one. Because, you know, I was supposed to do it for him before. Yeah, my boy with the fucking 6 head. He thinking about a lot, huh? Yeah, you know, bro, always think about something. Yeah, you know, bro, always got something on his mind. Shit. Yeah, he should have been in that movie, Mars Attack. You know what I mean? Yeah, he would have been a perfect candidate for that one. Man, I need to find this picture right here, but this shit acting dumb. I think I need to take a picture of the damn thing, so then I could draw it. Well, I gotta take a picture of it with my phone. Hold on. All right. I just had to take a picture. Now that I got the picture, I could draw that motherfucker. So, I'm gonna pop it up. Yo, what it do, what it do. Yeah, I want to draw this shit for bro. I'm gonna see about it. But I gotta wait, and my phone is dying too, you know. This shit's at like 19%. I'm gonna have to fucking charge this bitch too. I don't think this shit was fully charged though, so. What's up with y'all though, man? I might have to get off here in a minute though and get on my computer, you know what I mean? Because I gotta do some shit on my phone with the whole like Instagram shit. But I can still go live from my computer right now, you know what I mean? That's what I might do. Just be on my computer live. Cause I gotta charge this phone up. This motherfucker dying. Ah! Yeah, but I could go live off of the computer too, you know. So that's what I was thinking about doing right now. Just y'all gotta rejoin, you know what I mean? Y'all gonna have to rejoin and all that, man. Yeah, let me get on my computer. I'll be right back.